Okay, guys, today we'll be talking about one of the most confused topics in cybersecurity, which is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. But before we get there, if you're coming across this video today for the first time, please do well to give it a thumbs up for more updates. With that aside, let's go straight to business. So what is DHCP? DHCP means Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol is an identifier on a network. A device, each device on a network needs an IP so that it can communicate to one another on a given network. So basically, there are two types of identification on a network. We have the static protocol and we have the dynamic IP protocol. Before then, if you want to add a network or a device on a network, I mean to say, if you want to add a device on a network, you will have to go and then set it manually, configure it manually. You will have to set the IP yourself. You will have to set the subnet mask. You will have to set the default gateway, and you will have to set the DNS server manually. Now, one of the challenges of this system of distributing IP on different devices was that, what if you are dealing with a network that has a lot of devices, thousands of devices? Then what will be the fate of doing it manually, one after the other? That will automatically take time. The second point and the second problem was that if you are adding those devices manually, you may mistakenly add two IP addresses or one IP addresses on two different computers, and that will make those two computers not to have access to an internet. The third problem of adding devices through static IP was that it was easy for network to run out of IP addresses because of the way the systems or the server cannot pinpoint which device is no more on the network. Already that IP address has been assigned to the device, and if that device is no more there, it was difficult for the DNS server to identify which device is on the network or not. The second method of assigning IP addresses on device is the dynamic IP address protocol, which we are used in the nowadays world. The dynamic IP address protocol is just a process of assigning those IP addresses to device automatically. Now there is a DHCP server that runs the process of assigning those IP addresses to different devices, and this is done with this process. So instead of giving out those IP addresses to device, the dynamic IP protocol then lists those IP addresses on a device to a certain time, maybe 1 day or maybe 1 hour. So within that particular time, the device will then send a ping notice to the DHCP server to tell him that I want to renew my IP address. And if the time passes and this device does not ping the DHCP server, that means the device is no more active, and then the DHCP server will retrieve that IP address and then assign it. Within this way, the DHCP server manages those IP addresses without running out of IP addresses. So finally, the DHCP may decide to reserve some static address for some special functions or for some special devices like routers, like servers, and like switches and other devices that needs to have static IP addresses, because most of these servers run on another server, so they need to have a static IP address for identification. If you have watched this video to this point, please consider giving it a thumbs up for more updates. See you in my next video.